The modern Parisian woman of the late 19th century didn't emerge from a couture house. She claimed her identity on the chaotic gaslit boulevards of a city aggressively remaking itself. In the late 19th century, Paris was a pressure cooker of change. The Second Industrial Revolution demanded cheap labor. A glittering new consumer culture created a sudden need for saleswomen, waitresses, and performers. And for thousands of families flocking to the city, a man's wage was simply no longer enough to survive. This economic reality forced women into the public workforce on a scale never seen before. They became visible, independent, and vulnerable all at once. And a group of revolutionary artists was there to capture every moment. Let's look at 5 paintings that reveal the dramatic transformation of the Parisian woman. Let's start here in 1876 at the Moulin de la Galette in Montmartre. This is the new Paris, a place of sun-dappled afternoons, laughter and leisure for the rising middle class. To understand this scene, you have to know what Paris had just been through. Only 5 years earlier, the city was shattered by the Franco-Prussian War and the bloody civil war of the Paris Commune of 1871. So this painting isn't just about a party. It's about a city desperately trying to heal and find joy again. At the heart of this perfect Sunday are the women, beautifully dressed, smiling, surrounded by their male companions. They are there to be admired. Their role, their very presence in this public space, is defined by the men who brought them there. This is our starting point. The woman as a cherished, beautiful, but ultimately passive part of the community. But just 2 years later, something revolutionary happens. We are at the Grand Palais Garnier Opera House, a centerpiece of the newly rebuilt Paris. This painting, by the American artist Mary Cassatt, shows us a new kind of woman. The story is in her opera glasses. The woman is not merely observing. She is asserting her right to look. While fully aware of the social scrutiny, symbolized by the man in the opposing box, who directs his opera glasses squarely at her, she refuses to acknowledge him. This visual standoff perfectly captures the shifting gender roles of the era. The respectable woman is no longer just the spectacle. She is now the spectator, refusing to let the expectation of being seen distract her from the intellectual act of seeing. By including the viewer of the painting in this dynamic, forcing us to look at her just as the man in the background does. Cassatt implicates the audience in the very act of objectification her subject is defying. But this newfound freedom wasn't a fairy tale for everyone. This woman is an actress, a professional with her own career, and has a form of independence the others could only dream of. Yet she sits slumped and isolated, disconnected from the man beside her. That glass of absinthe was a symbol of that moral panic gripping Paris. This taps into a real anxiety of the French Third Republic, a widespread fear of social decay, of people becoming isolated and lost in the anonymous city. For a woman on her own, that judgment was 10 times harsher. This painting brilliantly captures the conflict of the era, the professional achievement of a working woman set against the immense psychological cost of her public life. Her independence is real, but it has left her vulnerable and judged by the world. That vulnerability takes another form in Paris's new pleasure economy. Welcome to the Folies-Bergère. To get this, think of the brand new department stores that were exploding in Paris, like Le Bon Marché. They created thousands of new jobs for women as salesgirls. But this job required a constant performance of pleasantness. Suzanne the barmaid is the nightlife version of this new female worker. Look at her expression as she stares out at us. She seems tired, distant. But then Manet gives us one of the most brilliant and troubling details in art history. Her reflection. In the mirror, she's not distant at all. She's at work, engaged with a customer, performing the role of being available, attentive. We're witnessing a skilled professional at work, managing a chaotic environment. Yet, as art historian T.J. Clark argued, this painting perfectly captures the new confusing roles in a commercial city, where the line between providing a service and selling oneself becomes hauntingly blurred. She isn't just selling drinks. Her presence, her forced elegance, her attention, it's all part of the transaction. She has become a commodity. So where does this all lead? By the 1890s, we're at the peak of the Belle Époque. The Moulin Rouge, opened in 1889, created a new kind of celebrity culture. Look at the dynamism of this dance floor. Women like the legendary dancer La Goulue weren't just service workers. They were powerful, provocative stars who commanded the space. They achieved a rare financial and behavioral independence by completely rejecting respectable society. Their scandal and their audacity was their currency. Toulouse-Lautrec, their devoted chronicler, captures this defiant independence best in his posters and private scenes. He shows La Goulue arriving, bold and unashamed, accompanied by women who are part of her autonomous circle. But this power came at a price. It was conditional and lived on the fringe. In just a few short years, we see the shifting roles of the Parisian woman captured in paint. From a protected ideal to a conflicted professional, an independent observer, an exploited commodity, and finally, a defiant star. More than paintings, these are social documents, detailing the real costs and radical freedoms women claimed through work and risk in a changing city. If you enjoyed this journey through Paris's past, hit that like button. Your support really helps the channel grow. Quick reminder, if you didn't already know, we have an accompanying booklet for this video. It provides even more info on everything we covered. Perfect as a handy keepsake or for future review. Check the description for the link. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you next time.